As a straight guy, what's the gayest thing you've done? I pissed and shitted on your mom. Task failed successfully. Two guys were talking to each other and I walked past them and said, "Look at you cuties," and kept going. Don't know why I did it to this day. This one is especially funny for me to picture for some reason. Did you imagine him doing this? I had a sleepover at my friend's house when I was 13, and we laid out some blankets and fell asleep in his living room. I woke up first to him spooning me, and I didn't move at all because I wanted to avoid any awkward moment in our friendship by having us both know of that cuddle moment, so I laid there as still as I could for maybe 30 minutes until he woke up and quickly but carefully got off of me. I then got up 10 minutes later, and that moment now doesn't exist in our friendship. Apparently I did this with my cousin when I was sleeping. Are you my cousin? In college I smoked some weed with my neighbor in the dorm. I got so high that I had a panic attack, and to calm me down he basically had to cuddle with me and then put on Animal Planet. No joke, sounds like a sweet dude. Haha, he was a good guy. I was convinced that the weed was laced, it wasn't. He told me it was all in my head and that when he would get too high he'd watch Animal Planet. We put it on, and no shit, watching animals on the TV when you're stoned is the most peaceful thing ever. I was out like a light shortly after. He cuddled you to sleep. Edit, officially my highest rated comment. Whoa. Once tried hugging a bro goodbye and we ended up making lip contact for more than a second by accident. Did not mind it. Handsome fella. Tender kisser. Bugged his GF about it for the next 3 years. More than a second by accident. #X200B, you've gotta pick one. Also doubles as the dumbest thing I've ever done. When I was like 7 I was wrestling with a guy at school and my head got buried between the dude's crotch. I took the opportunity and bit. He was in a lot of pain and confirmed I did just bite the cherry. I went home and asked my parents if I'd get pregnant. Well? Did you get pregnant or not? Don't keep us in the dark. He got pregnant. Am I, pregnant? Pregnant. If a woman has starch masks on her body, does that mean she has been pregnant before? Girlfriend no period for 6 weeks? Is she pregnant? My circle is normal, but yet I still don't get pregnant. What can I use? Can you get pregante? Can you get pranked? I once wrote a long romantic text for a girl who I slept with the night before. Romantic, mind you, rather than sexy. Then I accidentally texted it to a buddy. The text had no context specific to her. Not even the sex of the recipient. I didn't notice until the next day, at which point I had to explain it to him. I wish I still had it. She's now my wife. I once meant to send "I really wanna duck you right now" to my girlfriend at the time. Accidentally sent it to a friend. He just replied with "You're gonna have to buy me dinner first, lol." On deployment in the Marine Corps. I was laying in the desert next to my team leader under a perfect sky. All the stars were out and the air felt like the shade on a hot day. Him and I talked calmly about our families, our dreams, and how perfect the sky looked and how small that made us. "Hold my hand," he said. I could feel, without touching, that his arm was extending. Over the course of the following second I contemplated my whole existence before half-consciously reaching out to him. His hand felt nice and we said nothing. This lasted for maybe 10 minutes until we fell asleep. That's really beautiful. And you conveyed it well. Made me feel very calm and nice. This was actually commonplace until Oscar Wilde, that's right, the writer, had a public trial for being gay with an aristocrat's son. Thereafter it no longer became acceptable for men to hold hands or sleep in the same bed. This is why in places that didn't have that news coverage, i.e. Saudi Arabia, men still hold hands, like when George Bush regularly held the king's hand. Also Abraham Lincoln for several years slept in the same bed as another man, and it wasn't considered taboo. My wrestling team and I used to have group nap sessions where we would use each other as pillows. Lol, my high school team did this too. The heavyweight would lay on the mat and we'd all have our heads on his belly in a circle. So comfy. Glad to know my team wasn't the only one, haha. My friends and I were all in a bathroom together, and we were really hyped up for some reason. and we showed each other our wieners. Oddly enough, I think it made us better friends. Ah, the infamous D Club. Edit, my most upvoted comment and my first silver is on a comment about the D Club. That's perfect, I'm glad I could make so many of you smile today. Did we just find Arnold Handsome's Reddit alt? Danny and Arnold, I love those boys. I was at my friend's house when I was about 12 or 13. My friend pulled out a few Playboys and told me I could use them if I wanted, but only if we did it together. I had to sit on one side of the bed, he'd sit on the other. I could have a blanket over myself so he wouldn't see. But we'd still be jacking off less than 3 feet from each other. This was in the days of dial-up internet. Playboy was still like gold to me. So I said sure. About 10 minutes later and he's already come and I'm about to come and his mom walks in on her son watching his best friend furiously masturbating. That was a difficult one to live down. Edit, so glad my most upvoted post ever is on a random throwaway and that it's about me getting caught choking the chicken. Thanks for the silver, but more importantly, thanks for all the comments. I've never had the chance to interact with so many Redditors before. Edit 2, holy shit, gold and platinum? I can't believe this blew up like this. Thank you, kind strangers. All I can give in return is this bit of life advice: always remember to lock the door when you're masturbating. Geez, blow a few dudes in college and all of a sudden it's gay. It's a double standard. A woman blows a bunch of guys and she's a slut, but I do it and suddenly am gay? Exactly. My mom can duck my dad and nobody cares, but I fuck my dad and it's called incest? SMH. Ho. LD up. Oh boy, when I went to basic training, the recruiters told me that it's an adjustment, but after 2 weeks, you kind of get into a rhythm. Your sleep pattern changes, you're away from your phone, Reddit, and really any contact with the outside world except for a few blocks of time. It's all an adjustment. What they don't tell you is how ducking weird it is to not be touched by another human being for weeks on end. And not even in a sexual way, just any touching in general usually doesn't happen. I'm not shaking hands or high-fiving or hugging anybody, and neither would you. I didn't even notice how much I missed being touched until we paired up and had to rig up our vests for a range day. I needed a little help, so this dude starts adjusting my vest while I'm wearing it. The gay part is that it felt fucking amazing to have another dude touching my back. I'm pretty sure I let out an audible "oh yeah." It felt so good that I purposely fucked it up after he was done and had him redo it. The second time I was leaning into it, eyes closed, the whole works. TLDR, missed human contact while at basic training. Went gay for a second. Edit, gilded for gayness, thanks Reddit. Now you can imagine why the people in Forever Alone are so depressed. Many of them haven't been touched in any way in years, and some in decades. I had a legitimate sexual attraction to a male professor in college. It was weird. I sort of realized what I was feeling when he told our class his wife and left him, and immediately I thought yes. Lamau, did you try your luck though? The lack of a reply haunts me. It haunts us all. Ran my hand down a guy's chest and cupped his balls for more than a second. Edit, isn't it more fun without context? But I work in data analytics and accounting, not tailoring, airport security, or the medical field. Dude, you touched his chest? Not mine, but I had a friend whose frat's hazing was to watch gay porn with the rest of the freshmen. The first one to had an erection was declared the gayest. This was years back, guys. After every scene, if none of them had a hard on, they took a shot. Apparently they watched 2 movies and everybody passed out half the third one. I feel like the more you drink, the less likely it is to get a boner. Yeah, whiskey dick is a real ducking thing.